My name is Amanda Argona. For those of you who don't know me, I am the AmeriCorps member with the City of Moscow Farmers Market, and I primarily do volunteer coordination, and other times I get roped in by Kathleen to do these things. So I wanted to start my presentation with the definition of the multiplier effect, and it's been really great to sort of be here and talk about all the money flowing through the economy. It's a great segue into my presentation. So for those of you who aren't economists in the room, anyone besides myself, it's great. The multiplier effect is the way money flows through a local economy. And the more interactions each dollar has in the local economy, the greater that multiplier is. When I got this job, I thought I knew what I was getting myself into. Pretty straightforward, volunteer coordination, run a couple of surveys. It turns out I didn't know at all what I was getting myself into. No one told me I was going to be dressing up as a strawberry in our homecoming parade. No one told me that I'd be familiarizing myself with all of our vegetable costumes throughout the year. I didn't know I was going to facilitate food demonstrations at the market. I also didn't know about the incredible feeling I was going to have by being a part of this region's growing food system just by being a volunteer coordinator at the Moscow Farmers Market. So the Palouse area, is currently home to several farmers markets, and each one is unique in its structure and operations. And we don't need to be told that farmers markets are becoming more and more popular because we have that evidence here. The first market came along in 1977, and it took over 20 years for the co-op to decide to develop another farmers market. But then, from that point on, in 2004, it only took 5 years to see 4 other markets pop up in this area. And you'll notice Clarkston isn't on that map because I couldn't find any information about Clarkston Farmers Market, so I actually didn't know if it was still operational. And it doesn't account for all the markets that have opened and closed in the Palouse region, or the ones just beyond our region. And our markets are amazingly diverse. We have the Growers Market, it operates midweek. Pullman and Orofino operate midweek. The Lewiston Farmers Market is run by beautiful downtown Lewiston, which is a nonprofit. Orofino's Farmers Market got started through its county extension service. But despite all these differences, each of the markets are committed to their own narrative on local food and community and how that translates into economic development and benefit. So I was asked, what kind of capital do farmers markets need? Well, the obvious one is financial capital to operate the market. And you can see through this slide, there's available capital through each level of government and different levels of organizations. And when we think about the Moscow Farmers Market, we have an operating capital through the General Tax Fund through the City of Moscow. And then the Pullman Farmers Market has financial support through the Pullman Chamber of Commerce. So there's various resources there. But markets also need social capital to kind of get off the ground, and that comes in the form of our volunteers. Any friends in the market groups which haven't started here, I hope to see that happen. Organizations like Backyard Harvest, who facilitate all of our SNAP transactions, are a huge benefit to us. And then markets are also pickup points for CSA shares through our farmers. So you have all that social capital built into it. Markets and their management now have tools that they can use to measure those economic impacts. And not only does everyone want a slice of that pie, but we want that pie to get bigger so our slice can get bigger. So while we have all of these metrics, and the Moscow Farmers Market has done a couple of metrics to see what our economic impact is, I've gone out into the community to give presentations. The coalition has seen it. The Moscow Urban Renewal Agency has seen those presentations on the dollars coming through the market. None of these mechanisms tell us how to manage for growth or if it's even possible with our markets. So I would just like to reference this slide again. And this is what markets need to do, is evaluate everything about them. They need to evaluate their organizational structure, They need to evaluate their footprint. They need to see if they have the infrastructure for growth. And I'm only speaking to what I know because it's what the Moscow Farmers Market is dealing with right now. And they need to get back to those ideas of community, local, and food, and kind of figure out what it is that makes the market, the market, and why it started in the first place. So I'd like to leave you with some food for thought. I had a question about, what do the markets need? And I don't have an answer to that at all. It's okay for markets to change from their original intent. A market only needs to know what its intent is. And basically, it's not an easy question, and it's not a simple one-size-fits-all answer.